We all know the legendary opening of Ghost of Tsushima. You play as Jin Sakai, the lone survivor who rises from the ashes of Komoda Beach to wage a one-man guerrilla war against the Mongol Empire. Armed with a katana and a strict code of honor, it is one of the greatest stories in gaming history. It is also almost entirely fiction. Jin Sakai didn't exist. Khotun Khan is completely made up. The katana wasn't even invented yet. Today, we are tearing down the myth to look at the true history of the 1274 Mongol invasion of Japan. What really happened on that beach? How accurate is the game? And why did developer Sucker Punch intentionally rewrite history to give us this masterpiece? In November 1274, Kublai Khan, the grandson of Genghis Khan, set his sights on Japan. He didn't send a fictional cousin named Khotun Khan. He sent a massive, terrifying coalition of Mongol, Chinese, and Korean Goryeo forces. We're talking about an armada of over 800 ships and roughly 20,000 to 30,000 troops. Their first stop, Tsushima Island. In the game, Lord Shimura leads a brave, cinematic charge. In reality, the island's governor, Sukakuni, led the defense, and he didn't have an army. He had exactly 80 mounted samurai. When the Mongols landed at Komoda Beach on November 4th, it wasn't a drawn-out tactical war, it was a slaughter. The 80 samurai fought valiantly, but they were entirely wiped out by nightfall. There was no Jin Sakai left breathing. The Mongols butchered the defenders, devastated the island's inhabitants, and quickly moved on to Iki Island, and then the Japanese mainland. There was no long, drawn-out occupation where a ghost slowly took back outposts. Tsushima fell almost immediately, so if the invasion was over in a day, what else did Sucker Punch change? Let's talk about the samurai themselves. In the game, Jin's uncle berates him for breaking the samurai code. Look your enemy in the eye, he says. He acts as if sneaking around is the ultimate sin. But here's the truth. In 1274, the idea of Bushido, the strict spiritual honor code of the samurai, did not exist. That romanticized code was largely invented centuries later during a time of peace, the Edo period, to make warriors look more noble. 13th century samurai were practical, brutal killers whose main job was protecting their land. They absolutely used night raids and ambush tactics. Oh, and that iconic weapon on Jin's hip, the katana, it didn't exist yet. At the time of the invasion, samurai fought primarily from horseback using bows. When they did use swords, they used the tachi, a longer, deeply curved sword worn edge down, designed to be swung from a horse. But Sucker Punch wasn't trying to make a 100% historically accurate documentary. They were trying to make a playable Akira Kurosawa film. They deliberately traded historical fact for cinematic fantasy, giving us the idea of the samurai that pop culture has fallen in love with. If Jin Sakai didn't save Japan, who did? The Mongols eventually landed on mainland Japan at Hakata Bay. The Japanese samurai, adapting to the Mongols' explosive bombs and massed formations, fought fiercely. But the invasion wasn't stopped by a single warrior. It was stopped by the weather. A massive, unseasonable typhoon battered the coast, completely destroying the Mongol fleet and drowning thousands of invaders. The Mongols retreated. 7 years later, they tried to invade again, and amazingly, another massive typhoon wiped them out. The Japanese called these miraculous storms the Kamikaze, the divine wind. And this is where Ghost of Tsushima pulls off its greatest artistic trick. Sucker Punch didn't just ignore history, they personified it. Jin Sakai is the Kamikaze. He is the storm that saves Japan. It's why the wind literally guides you to your objectives. It's why his final, ultimate attack is called the Ghost Stance, striking like a force of nature. He is the human embodiment of the divine wind. Ghost of Tsushima is not a history book. It bends the facts, changes the weapons, and invents its characters. But in doing so, it captures the soul of Japanese cinema and creates a mythology that feels incredibly authentic. It took the brutal, short-lived reality of Komoda Beach and asked, what if one man survived? What if the storm wasn't just weather, but a warrior? Let me know down in the comments. Did learning the real history ruin the game for you, or make you appreciate Sucker Punch's artistic choices even more? If you enjoyed this dive into the past, hit subscribe